Hey everyone, RJ here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm doing my 2-week review of the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. Okay, so after 2 weeks of owning the OnePlus Nord N10 5G, I'm basically just going to give you my thoughts and opinions of my usage of this phone since I've had it. Now, you can get this phone various different ways. If you want to switch carriers, you can port over to Metro by T-Mobile and get this phone for free if you qualify. Some are sold as international models, but mine I purchased from B&H Photo for $299, and it supports every carrier here in the US, all the LTE bands and all that kind of good stuff there. So let's get right into it. Now, first thing I want to say is that this phone is the best phone, in my opinion, you can pick up for this price point of $299. It's a 5G phone, which I believe makes it the cheapest 5G phone available. And this phone performs very, very well. I have been using this phone since I have received it. I have used it on Total Wireless, which is my main carrier, which is on the Verizon network. Currently, it is on Ultra Mobile, which is a T-Mobile MVNO, working just fine. Now, this here is not a full review. I've only had it for 2 weeks. I've done some battery tests with it. I've really not done any kind of photo or video tests with this phone as of yet. I want to give you a rundown of some specs of this phone and what you can expect if you just had to buy this phone. Now, for the display, you get a 6.49-inch IPS LCD display at 1080 by 2400 with a 20 by 9 aspect ratio with 406 pixels per inch. This phone does have a 90 hertz display. However, it is currently on 60 hertz because I care more about battery life than I do the refresh rate of a phone. But even at 60 hertz, this phone here is very smooth, very fluid, very fast. I am on the stock launcher here on the OnePlus Nord. Now, like I said, the display is fantastic. All right, it gets bright enough. You can see here when I pull the drop down, I'm around 40% brightness, and in this well-lit room, it is bright enough to see everything that I want to see. Everything is clear, everything is crisp, no issues with the display. Now, power in this phone is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 690 octa-core processor with 6 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage, and you can expand that storage with a micro SD card. As far as the cameras, there's a lot to go into with the cameras, and I may wait to a different video here to discuss those cameras when I get some video and some photo samples and all that kind of stuff. I apologize I didn't get it done in this 2 weeks that I've had this phone. I've just not really been focusing on the photo and video of this phone. I've been concentrating on just how it works, the performance, the battery life, the call quality, reception, all that kind of stuff for this 2 weeks, and the sound quality and all that kind of good stuff. So the camera will come later. So if you're not subscribed, be sure and subscribe and click that bell to be notified for all the future videos on this phone coming up here in the near future. This phone does have a 4300 milliamp hour non-removable battery with 30-watt fast charging, and yes, it does come with a wall brick in the box, 30-watt warp charger, so that's always a good thing there. Now, the color of this phone is called Midnight Ice, and this is a really good looking phone. And in certain lighting, it does kind of change colors a little bit. I did order a case for it, so stay tuned for that video as well. As anybody that knows that owns this phone is slick, okay? This is a medium-sized phone, but even though it's plastic, it's very slick. And if you ain't careful, you will drop this phone. I've about done it numerous times. We've got a fingerprint scanner there as well. Also has face unlock, which is very, very fast. As you can tell right now, it just goes right to the home screen. No issues whatsoever. Now, I do want to hit on one thing. Now, I'm not really sure if anybody else has this problem or not with this phone, but the fingerprint scanner, it doesn't always work, okay? There are times that I will press it once, it will not open, it won't do anything. I press it again, it opens right up. Press it right now, turns on. I hit it again, and nothing. Hit it again, it comes on. Turn it off, hit it again, it does nothing. Sometimes it takes 2 taps to get it to come on, because sometimes the first one just does not register. And so if anybody out there owns this phone is having that problem, maybe I need to just re-register my fingerprint. I really don't know. But that's one thing that I am noticing so far with the OnePlus Nord N10 5G is that the rear mounted fingerprint scanner sometimes just doesn't register. When you press it, it doesn't do anything, and you got to press it again, and then you're fine. Now, how is the audio, the reception, the call quality, and those stereo speakers, how do they work on this phone? Well, I can say they work very well, okay? You get a good balance between the bottom speaker and the top speaker. Everything sounds nice, crisp, clear, no issues. Call quality is, I can't put my finger on it, to be honest, but call quality is good, but it's like you got to find a sweet spot. And sometimes you got to kind of move around a little bit to find that sweet spot. But overall call quality is good. It's not muffled. It's not distorted. It does sound just fine. Reception is very strong with this phone. It's one of the strongest phones I've had in a while as far as reception goes. With Verizon, I get nearly full service here, and I can actually pull pretty decent T-Mobile coverage. Right now, I'm on Wi-Fi calling, of course, just to, because if I didn't, I'd probably be in no service right now where I'm at. But I can pull service with this phone here where a lot of other phones can't on T-Mobile. I'm down here in the country, down here in the sticks, as a lot of y'all know. And so for me to get reception on T-Mobile with this phone shows me that the reception is strong with this phone. Speakerphone quality, it's average. Nothing, it's average, So let's go to the settings here for a little bit. I didn't hit on this, I don't believe, in the unboxing. But this has a lot of good features. Features that I'm not really used to because I never had a OnePlus device before this. So let's go in here to Bluetooth. Got NFC. You can catch your screen, tap and pay, printing, Chromebook, nearby share, Android Auto, all that good stuff there. Display, adaptive brightness, adaptive display white balance, sleep. Now advanced here, you can change your refresh rate from 60 hertz to 90 hertz. You can have the front camera display area, which you can't see it here with the dark mode being on, but trust me, it looks ridiculous. If you're in light mode and you're hiding the front camera, yeah, it's best to leave it there on top. So yeah, there we go. Ambient display, so you can lift up the display and it'll show you clock, stuff like that. Display message and all that kind of good stuff there. Font size, display scaling, status bar. Now, I have reviewed a lot of phones. I've always wanted a phone where you could hide the clock. And finally, OnePlus has made that happen. And so I'll show you that here in a moment. Now, battery style, you can have the battery bar, as you see up there. And you can also have the battery circle, which I kind of prefer. So, yeah, I'm on the battery circle. You can show battery percentage, display network speed, and time. You can show hours, minutes, and seconds, just like that. You can show just the regular hours and minutes, or don't show it at all. So that's nice to see here. Sometimes you just don't want that clock being in the way. So yeah, that's gone. And that's about it for that. Down here at buttons and gestures, you got navigation bar and gestures. So if you don't like the navigation gestures, you do have the standard back, home, and recents, which I do prefer navigation, so I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, anyway. Double click power button, press and hold power button. So if you press this here, I think it's kind of crazy that they're wanting to do the voice assistant from Google whenever you hold down the power button. I don't want it to activate voice assistant, so I leave it on power menu for, the power off the phone when holding in the power button. What the power button's there for, am I right? So, got security and lock screen, face unlock, fingerprint unlock, pattern, PIN, password, smart lock, all that kind of good stuff going on there. So here now at the battery, okay, now just ignore the last full charge and screen usage here. I have charged it up a little bit, so that's not accurate. I do got some screenshots that I want to show you here in just a second, though. But battery is, I can't put my finger on it, but the battery is good, but it's not being extremely consistent. I can get very good battery life, 2, 3 days, some good screen on time. Also, whenever I buy a phone like this or any phone, I do the battery drain test where I fully charge the phone up, power it on, have the brightness at 50%, and I cut on YouTube, watch one of those 4K nature scenery videos until it's about 5% battery, and then I take a screenshot and show you what you can expect in continuous video. So I got that here as well. But let me go ahead right now and show you those screenshots. So here's one example. I've done the 5%. Last full charge was 3 days. Screen on time was 6 hours and 35 minutes. You can see right there what I basically used. That's basically all I really used in this battery test. Now the next charge cycle showed it lasted 4 days with 6 hours and 32 minutes of screen on time. You can see right there, yeah, what I basically used in that 6 hours and 32 minutes. But 4 days, not bad at all. Here is the YouTube video drain test. And as you can see here, last full charge, 14 hours. Screen on time was 13 hours and 53 minutes. You can see YouTube right there. All the way through, just straight line, was 93%. So nearly 14 hours of straight video is not bad. Okay, you can watch several movies with that. So the battery drain, 14 hours with nearly 14 hours of screen on time. Of course, your battery life is going to differ from my battery life. Everybody uses their phone differently. So doing battery tests is kind of hard to do anyway because, like I said, we all use our phones differently. So that's the deal with the battery life. But, I mean, I got to honestly say, for $299, you were getting a fantastic phone, okay? The operating system is fast. Speakers are great. USB-C charging. A really nice display. I mean, if you're looking for a phone and it's in your price range of $300, in my opinion, you're not going to find a better phone than the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. Okay. Like I said, bought this on B&H Photo for $299. Prices may vary. Always check the websites. But I recommend buying this phone from there because I do know that it is the model here in the US. It does support every carrier and every LTE band. I have been on 5G with using Verizon or Total Wireless on this phone. Have yet to get it on T-Mobile, but I'm not in a 5G area right now with T-Mobile, so yeah. Nothing new there, but overall, it's a great phone. No complaints. Very quick, very fast, very snappy. Yeah, no issues. So that's just my little 2-week review and thoughts here of the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. I know a little bit scattered, but that's just my real thoughts. Okay, I'm doing some speed test comparisons with this phone, so be sure and stay tuned for all of that. If this was helpful and informative in any way, be sure and click that like button. Any questions you may have, leave it down below. If you're new around here, consider subscribing and click that bell to get all notifications of future videos. I would appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching.